Hey guys, welcome back. Apologies for the lapse of time in between videos. Life is very complicated this year. It's lots of obstacles to get through, and videos naturally had to take a back seat. I got a ton of footage from my fishing, but just hadn't the time to, put them together and spit them out. But had a great year. I didn't do as many tournaments, but in general had a really solid year considering the lack of time on the water relative to past years. I just kind of gauged that a little bit. I keep track of the 5-pounders I get during the year to see kind of where I land. And this year I'm about on par with last year, despite my big decline on how much time on the water I have. So that's great. It means I'm learning. I'm learning like you guys. You never stop learning. So I have a lot to learn. Got 5th place in the last tournament I was in and went up against these guys that just seem to win over and over. So I know there's lots of room for improvement. Looking forward to being a little more competitive with these top guys in the state for sure. I love getting over east a few times in fall. I've done it every year for the past 5, 6, 7 years. Well, this year I didn't even make it out once. I really enjoy late September, October. I was able to squeeze in a long weekend or two, late summer, early fall, but I really love the bite and how it evolves in September and October. Well, I have an opportunity to slip away just for one day, and so it's a day trip, so a lot of driving, just as much driving as fishing, and I don't have much confidence. I just hit a lake the other day that I had, it's my home lake, and the swim bait bite was off. The fish weren't set up the same way. They definitely shifted. So it's, I got a few good ones, but overall, it really dampened my confidence. So I may be doing a long road trip for nothing. I'm hoping even just for a few solid bites. I love throwing big swim baits this time of year. Big worms, that's probably my 2 go-to things for, I'm doing largemouth today. And depending on how they're set up, a lot of times, at least some suspended on vertical cover. And from my experience, those are usually the bigger ones. So I got a big swim bait tied on. I got a medium-sized swim bait tied on. Not a lot of baits work really well this time of year, especially for largemouth. And hopefully I make something out of it. So if I get 10 fish, that is a huge win. If I get 4 fish, I'm okay with that too, honestly, given the time of year and my recent experiences on local lakes. But so we're dealing with a front that moved in yesterday. So we're right kind of in the middle of like the first colder front of the year. And from what I understand, it might be good basically for just one more day. And then we'll get that post-front conditions, which, could make it very hard. That's kind of why I tried to make it happen. I had to do I had to work this morning and then head out. So I have a late start as well. They're not a great setup at all, but I'm just going for it. I don't have another opportunity. It's not going to happen. Yeah, so let's just see how it goes, and then I'll circle back to you guys here after a few clips. Well, that kind of sucks. Forgot to clear my card of my last couple fishing trips. So I only have so much room for some footage. Let's make the best of it. So I have no idea what I'm doing. I'm not sure I've ever fished this lake this time of year. So I don't know if they're gonna be on deep rock or weed lines, or just gonna find them on some vertical cover that I know about. I'm mostly confident about that vertical cover because I do have some experience catching them there late October. Well, the bar is not high. Let's just make something of it. This spot's not giving it up. Great start. Love it. Let's go. This next spot, definitely a little more confidence. What am I doing out here? It is 40 degrees, super wet, and I made a long drive, maybe for nothing. Let me at least get a few on the boat. Nothing. What am I doing here? Wishful effing thinking. Jesus. There we go. No kidding. All right. Let's go. Surprise, surprise. And I was just complaining. Maybe I need to complain more. If I can find them, I think I can get them to eat this, but I don't know if I just got lucky or what. Not terrible. What is that? First 10 minutes here. Maybe. I don't want to get optimistic though. Definitely not. Too many times I've caught a fish and first few minutes and turned out to be a trash day. One down. All right, let's go. Man, these fish look awfully pale here, and you were not hooked very good. Whoop. Alright. A little bigger. Very cool. Love it. Swim bait's working. I just don't have too many spots to throw it on this lake, but maybe I'll find more. Doubt it, but I'm stoked. All right. Nice. I know there's bigger in here, but I will absolutely take it. That one absolutely choked it. Even the little one's feasting on the swim bait. Well, that's not like real little, but dang, wish that was your big sister. Oh yeah, baby. Another good one. All right. At this point, I'd say the drive was worth it. All right. Well, that went well. I mean, with my level of expectations. Dang, I got that swim bite to work. And that reminds me more of November. This last time I tried to get out, they weren't rising off a cover to chase big swim baits at all, and I had to throw a drop shot and get them off of real tight to cover to get them that way. But yeah, this was a pleasant surprise. I don't know how many fish I got, probably 10 or 12 for the short time I was out there, and half of them were good size. Something happened to my GoPro. I was a little nervous about using it in the rain, but I've used it in more rain than this and been fine. So GoPro stopped working. I didn't catch the biggest catch of the day on film, unfortunately. It was like 4.4 or something. But yeah, it's a shame. So a couple of the catches didn't get on there, but I know a handful did. So pretty cool. Nice little fall video, and maybe inspire you guys to get out there. Now, what I learned today, which was super key, which I've known in the past, but this time of year, vertical cover. And that's for smallmouth and largemouth, but in this case for largemouth. The ones on the weed lines, they were little ones, hard to get to commit, especially when I wanted to throw a big swim bait. But vertical cover, pilings, trees, stuff like that, even buoy ropes, that sort of thing. That's where you want to toss a big swim bait. And just slow roll it, try different depths. A lot of times they're suspended, sometimes they're 10 feet off the bottom, 20, sometimes they're 40 feet, suspended 30 feet off the bottom. So you have to let it drop, try some different retrieves. I like a heavier swim bait so it sinks a little bit. I don't have to spend a whole lot of time waiting for it to drop. And just slow reel it past some vertical cover, and that is a really good way to get bigger fish to bite, for sure. And I can name off a handful of lakes where that's like my November, December pattern, and I've gotten some monster bags doing that. So there's definitely something to say. I know a lot of guys fish different ways. I get it. But for me, I think it's a lot of fun. Hucking around big swim baits and slow rolling them, and then just having them get crushed. It is a blast. And putting up with this terrible weather to get out here, and half the day it was raining, makes it all worth it. I had the whole lake to myself. On a crappy day, on these late fall, early winter days, it's oftentimes you get the whole lake to yourself, and there's nothing better. I mean, nothing better. And when I'm not getting phone calls, work stuff going off, all that is heavenly. I live for it. So I thoroughly enjoy late fall and winter fishing for sure. But you'll see, I'll attach a couple pictures. There were a couple hours when it was sunny. You got to see all the fall leaves, and it's just a beautiful view. Had a rainbow at one point. These days can be absolutely gorgeous as well. So, it's better than being cooped up inside. Get out there, even if you don't catch them. Like today, I was fully expecting maybe to get a bite or two and just be content. Personally, I'm okay with being out on the water. If I'm dressed appropriately, comfortable, enjoy the scenery and seclusion. It's a blast. I mean, I thought I wouldn't come out this way again in November. In general, it's got me thinking I might do this little trip over the pass. I'm just not a huge fan of going over the pass when it's snowing. It's almost getting on the roads right now, so that's why I'm leaving a little early. I don't want to mess with all that, but yeah, thanks for tuning in, guys. And shoot, if I forgot to throw any tips out there or answer any questions about what I'm doing, just comment, and I'd be happy to elaborate on anything from this video or even other questions you have this time of year. I have other techniques I really love this time of year as well, so feel free to ask. Maybe I'll do a little I always say that, but I never get time. But maybe I'll do a little video breaking down my favorite setups for late fall. So I think that'd be a fun one. If I had more time, I would definitely do it. So we'll see. Fingers crossed. As usual, I appreciate you guys watching, and see you on the next one.